fun and more, a bigger chance that Jeremy will get the Reaper chip at the end of the day.
He's Indian, won't affect.
Just let it happen.
He's a Victorian Indian. He's lost his purpose. He's lost the heat factor.
In fact, I'm probably
Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to the most must-see podcast in wrestling history. It is the PWC. It is the major players, and we're talking all about Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And of course, with major players and major talks comes my major players. We've got the one and only, the CEO of PWC. It is Mr. Nashville himself. We've got the twisted, sensational youngster, Mr. Kyle, who I think might be frozen a little bit there. And then we've got the ever-opinionated, ever-rejuvenated Mr. Jeremy as well. And then, of course, yours truly, your mother's favorite podcaster, Vaz. And we're talking Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which takes place next week. I'm saying next week because we're recording this on Sunday, on the 19th, so the 26th, I think it is, next week. We're recording it then. That's when Extreme Rules takes place. And before we get into the Extreme Rules and all of that sort of stuff, we're going to go through with our last pay-per-view predictions when Kyle returns, I guess. But I'm going to carry on. He doesn't want to hear the results, I promise. So, with All Out, we all did quite bad, actually. I'm not going to lie. We didn't do well. We did not do well with our predictions, except for Jeremy. Jeremy had the best results, I guess. He picked up 7 out of a possible 14 points. So, then myself and Nash and Kyle all picked up 5 points from that one. And it looks like currently in the lead, it is Jeremy with 18 overall, myself in second with 16, and then Nash and Carl fighting out for that loser spot of 13.
That chip is coming, gentlemen. That chip.
So for our fans, so they know what's going on with our prediction game, at the end of, I'm going to go up to WrestleMania, I think we said, eh?
End of the year, December of each year.
End of the year. Okay, so December. So normally TLC around that side, I guess, or whatever the case is. Whoever is in last place has to eat that, I think it's the 10 million Schofield chip thing, whatever it is. That one really, really, really hot chip.
Oh, no one's doing prison break over here, man. Scoville.
Hey.
Schofield. Yeah. So, look, I think might be a little bit racist of me, but I think the 3 of you guys might have an advantage over the hot chip than me. Just putting that out there.
I need to figure out a way to rig this game so that you lose. I haven't figured out.
You just want to see a white boy sweat, that's all. Oh man.
Out in who might not be white. Let's just
Carl, are you going to rejoin us? What's happening? You're online, but you're muted. You have your video off. What's going on, bud? Come on. We want to start our show. Come on. We're waiting for you, man. Youngsters, eh?
Kids days.
All right, let's continue though. We're going to be talking about Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And as of recording, we have 6 official matches in this pay-per-view, which I won't lie, is a bit, for me, a little bit underwhelming, actually. I feel like that it could be better, but it's not. So maybe the fact that it might be better than I expecting, I don't know. But just to run down the card quickly before we get into the discussion, our card, it's no particular order. We've got the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It's going to be Becky Lynch taking on Bianca Belair. We then have Damian Priest taking on Sheamus for the US title. We have the Women's Raw match coming up, which is Charlotte Flair taking on Alexa Bliss. We have the Usos taking on the Street Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And then we've got a really random match thrown in there between Liv Morgan and Carmella, which is being dubbed as a #1 contenders match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then finally, the main event, I'm guessing at this point, it is the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, taking on the Demon, Finn Balor. That's the card. There is some rumors that 2 matches will be added from this week on the go-home shows of both Raw and SmackDown. The one that's being, 3 matches rather that are being rumored. The one is Bobby Lashley taking on Big E. The other one is going to be the tag team, women's tag team match. Apparently, it's looking like it'll be Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash taking on Natalya and Tamina in a match, probably be a pre-show match. And then the last one that's being rumored is Edge taking on Seth Rollins in an Extreme Rules match for their final showdown. So we'll get to that. We're not going to really talk about those matches. So let's just quickly talk, the 3 of us here, since Carl has left us, and I don't think he's coming back. I don't know. He'll join us eventually. So let's talk about those 3 rumored matches. And in particularly, the one that I want to reference to is the Seth Rollins versus Edge match. They're currently 1-1 as they stand. This will be their 3rd rubber match, so to speak. We saw on SmackDown yesterday, or Saturday, or Friday rather, that Seth wants to beat him one more time. He wants to put the final nail in the coffin. Jeremy, do you think we'll get this type of match?
Look, I must be honest. I was an Edge fan back in the day. I'm not sure if he's just back, like Rollins says, that he's just back for some type of vain-based where he's trying to prove something to himself. Because every time he has a match, you guys know this, every time he's had a match since he's come back, he's been injured. He's picked up some type of. I believe it's the case again this time. I believe he's legit injured. I don't think we're going to see a match at Extreme Rules. As much as I like the throwback thing, as much as I like to see Legends return and everything else, I think there's at some point you guys have to decide, you know what? That's it, man. I'm out. I like Rollins, but I actually think that they might be playing off. He might stay at home for a while. I think we might actually see a match of theirs at Crown Jewel. I think that's probably where Edge is going to come back. I think Rollins is probably going to come out, cut a promo, and Edge's music is going to hit, and everybody's going to go for him there. But yeah, I don't see anything happening at Extreme Rules, man. I think he's legit out recouping it and licking wounds, as it were.
And
yeah.
Nashville, what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm with Jeremy on the Crown Jewel thing. I think he is going to edit around the Crown Jewel because we all know how the Prince of the Kingdom Redacted loves the legends, the old school guys like Edge, and Rollins is a huge star now. So that match could I'm actually going to put my prediction down on this one. It will happen at Crown Jewel. But I think, and this is just my head working here, we could have a situation where Seth Rollins challenges Edge on SmackDown to a match at Extreme Rules, knowing full well that Edge will be there, goes on pay-per-view in a suit, has to counter 10 and wins via counter, but we get Edge coming out afterwards, Ryan Gosling and Brawl, and obviously that will lead to the Crown Jewel match. So I don't see it. I do not want to see it happen in Extreme Rules. And if it does happen in Jewel, a nice little addition to that would be a triple falls match. But yeah, it's not going to happen in Crown Jewel. And just to add to my point, I like how the Extreme Rules card is right now. It's nice, it's lean. Like I said, I do not like it when WWE, especially for second pay-per-views, third tier pay-per-views, where they tend to put 10 card, like 10 is like the average for the. I like the card how it is now. I just would prefer it, the matches were just at this more Extreme Rules stipulation.
No, I get what you're saying. Kyle, let's get your thoughts on this one quickly. Do you see Edge versus Seth Rollins taking place at Extreme Rules?
No.
Or like the other two, do you see it taking place at Crown Jewel instead? Or do you even not see it taking place at all? Maybe they're just hyping up for nothing. That is WWE after all.
I wouldn't mind if it didn't happen again. I'm actually annoyed that it happened on SmackDown because that match would have been perfect for Extreme Rules, given the two characters involved here. And we could have seen this exact same storyline play out, but also just maybe 3 weeks later. If it happens at Crown Jewel, cool. I don't think I've watched a single Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, so...
What?
Yeah.
You're telling me you didn't see the instant classic between Goldberg and Dolph Ziggler, or Goldberg and The Undertaker, which was probably one of the greatest matches of all time, or, I don't know, the DX match?
Number one, too good.
Listen, no, hold on. We're not going to get into Crown Jewel. We'll talk about that at the next pay-per-view in October. We're going to stick to Extreme Rules because I can see Jeremy's ready to go on a huge tangent. You can do that in the WhatsApp group. We're going to stick to this. We're sticking to the card, okay? We're not digressing. We're sticking to the card. It is Extreme Rules. And let's talk about our first match, which is probably going to be the biggest throwaway match on this card. And that is the recently, I want to call it resurged Liv Morgan taking on the most beautiful woman in all of WWE, Carmella. And here's my thoughts on this one. I'm going to start straight up, right? I like Liv Morgan. Yeah, Carl, we'll get to your goal. Don't worry.
Okay.
But I want to have my thoughts on this one. So I like Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan has improved a hell of a lot in the last 2-3 years that she's been on the main roster. And I'm actually a bit annoyed because she's not getting the push that she deserves. All right. She should have been up there with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. She should have been Money in the Bank winner, in my opinion. But that's fine. We've moved on from that. She's getting a little bit of a push now. They're giving her a little bit more mic on. I don't understand Carmella. All right. The gimmick that they've given Carmella is pretty much the same gimmick that they're trying to do Emma when they try to do that Emma to Emmeline thing. Okay. And in the same breath, it's the same gimmick as Eva Marie. Let's look as beautiful as possible and have every other excuse in the book of why we keep losing. Right? And in history of wrestling, losing streaks do not work. Unless your name is Brian Mayers, that's the only way a losing streak will win. Okay? Titus O'Neil had a massive losing streak. He didn't get pushed at all. Jinder Mahal had a losing streak. He didn't get pushed at all. Heath Slater had a losing streak. He got buried so quickly it wasn't even funny. And I see Carmella heading in the same direction. And Eva Marie, for that matter. You cannot have a losing streak on professional wrestling anymore. It just doesn't work. With that being said, this match, I don't feel much about it after the 10-second match we had on SmackDown with Carmella breaking her nose. I'll be surprised if this match even continues onto Extreme Rules. I'll be very surprised if it goes longer than 3 minutes. I'll be very surprised if it's on the main show. It might even just be on a pre-show. With that being said, though, I will give my prediction straight up. Liv Morgan is winning this one. And I won't be surprised if we go on to past Survivor Series. So TLC will have Liv Morgan versus maybe Becky Lynch for the title somewhere down the line there. Because the next one is Crown Jewel, and it's very unlikely two women will fight in Crown Jewel, especially a black woman in Saudi Arabia. It's very unlikely. And then you have Survivor Series, and it's normally champions versus champions there, so you won't have a title match. And then TLC is normally December, right? Yeah, so that's how that pans out. But yeah, I'm going with Liv Morgan winning this match. Let's jump with Kyle. Kyle, I know you like the women's wrestling of WWE.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of it. So
I think
what's your prediction on this one? What's your thoughts?
I think out of all of us, I'm the biggest ambassador for the women's division, so I would have appreciated if I was allowed to go first when there is a women's match on the card. For someone who doesn't care much, care much about this match, you certainly went on quite a rant about it, which means you've given this thing some thought, Vass. No, I'm kidding. Listen,
when you're forced to watch Carmella every week, you get thinking,
I mean, yeah. Look, I'm okay with this match because Liv Morgan is being primed as a top tier star within the women's division, right? I don't think she's. I mean, yeah.
Short and blonde.
I mean, I don't know how short she is, but yeah. Look, I don't think Liv Morgan stays on SmackDown very much longer. I think when the draft comes, she's going to Monday Night Raw, and I think what they're doing right now is putting a last push for her to become some sort of a, championship contender. I think she can really shake it up. I think it was a little bit too soon because there's some things that's missing from her arsenal. She's not as fluid as she should be, but she's got some high spots, especially when she's involved in like multi-woman, matches. So things like the Rumbles, 6-man matches, she starts to shine. And I think right now this is her first sort of singles one-on-one match on a pay-per-view. And I mean, Carmella's being booked like how Baron Corbin was being booked. This heel that you're just sick and tired of seeing, who will sometimes win, but just always seems to be in the spotlight. Liv Morgan, easy win, and on to bigger and better things.
All right, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay. Button down, gents. Okay. Let's first the name of this pay-per-view. That's the first issue that I have. It's called Extreme Rules. We don't have a single match with any type of stuff attached to it just yet. Nothing. It's a week out. We don't have, well, if Edge and Rollins don't happen, we don't have Extreme Rules match. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe on the night we have, do you guys remember that roulette wheel that we had back in the day? Maybe that happens.
They had it on Halloween Havoc or NXT.
Maybe we get lucky. Maybe I'm a jackass, and maybe they come out last moment and decide every match is going to have its own stipulation, and we'll decide on the night what it's going to be. Let's move past that. Let's go to this actual match. I'm not sure, first of all, what happened on SmackDown. I love the ladies wrestling. I think sometimes when it's done well, I think that it takes away from the guys. I think they do a better job sometimes of their storytelling and how they put things together compared to the guys. But whatever bollocks happened on Friday night with the whole nose breaking, and WWE needs to stop with this nose thing, man. No, seriously, I call it now. We had Sheamus with the mask, and then Mandy Rose a few weeks back also broke her nose, and she was horribly disfigured. The following week, she came out with a mask, and then last week she came out with brand new hair. I'd like to do that, but yeah. And now we've got another nose angle. Seriously, if we needed to have a match between Carmella and goodness. Now this is how mad I am. I'm forgetting people's names.
Liv Morgan, Carmella.
Between Liv Morgan and Carmella, we could have done it a million other ways. And I do appreciate both these ladies. Carmella, I see Carmella in more or less the same vein as Jinder Mahal is. He's a proper heel. You hate him. You really, really hate him. You're sick and tired of seeing him on TV. And it's the same with Carmella. Carmella is that type of heel where you no longer want to see her. She's basically everywhere. Every time somebody loses a spot or there's a spot available, Carmella's there. That's the type of heel that we need. But come on, guys, something better. Give the lady something better than, oh, my nose is broken. I need a mask or some BS like that. do something better with these ladies. It's just like now we've already looked down on this match, and we could have like a proper good wrestling match, and both these ladies are good. Liv Morgan, for her time with Ruby Soho, you can see that actually it's rubbed off on her in a good way. She works proper matches. She works a solid style, and Carmella as well. Carmella works a heel style, and I like watching her wrestle. As much as we get annoyed that she's on screen again, and she's on screen again. Turn
She's
around.
good.
She knows what she's doing between those ropes. I just wish there was a better storyline going. That being said, it's probably going to be Liv. Liv's probably going to win after a ton of shenanigans, because we've got an outside a corner man, the corner woman on either side. So yeah, Liv after shenanigans, guys.
All right. Nashville.
Sorry, one more thing, Nash, before you go. We're probably going to end up with another face mask. Week after this paper, we're going to have a Sheamus face. Watch. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, Nashville, you're up. What are your thoughts on this
I would
match?
be surprised if down the road we get it's nose versus nose. It's a nose versus nose match.
And why is it that way? Nobody knows.
But yeah, the point I just wanna agree with Jeremy on one point there about this Extreme Rules, and we don't even have an Extreme Rules match. You know, if you look at past Extreme Rules pay-per-views, like let's say pre-2020, 2019 backwards, every single Extreme Rules pay-per-view had more than one, 5 or 6 Extreme Rules type of matches, whether it was tables, ladders, you know, any kind of Extreme Rules match you can think of, they had their pay-per-view. So I am extremely upset that they do not have an Extreme Rules step on any of these matches. I'm with Jeremy on that. I don't see, I think you mentioned some Raw Roulette kind of thing. I honestly don't see that happening. I don't see WWE doing that kind of thing. But we've seen instances where Triple H at the last week, every match of his DQ match at WrestleMania or whatever pay-per-view is. And yeah, I'm with Vaz on the point that, you know, women usually aren't allowed to wrestle in the kingdom of redacted. So they probably will not be on that pay-per-view. I also can see them dragging it on to TLC in December. I could probably see it on a TV show, maybe a SmackDown or Raw, depending on this rumored draft is going to go down. But this match, oh God, I have zero interest in this match. I know they're trying to make this like a number one contender match, but I zero interest. Carmella, I've never liked Carmella. I'll be honest with you. I was okay when she had her whole money, Mella is money, and she was money in the bank. That worked. Anything she's done before that and after that has been utter garbage. I have no interest in wrestler.
Yes.
You guys keep talking. I'm going to be back now. Just give me a sec.
Because she used to be paired up with Enzo and Cass. That's why you don't like her. There's no other. Say it now.
Yeah.
Now.
That was the genesis of my hatred. I'll be honest. But let's be honest. Anything she's done before or after the Money in the Bank run, has it been interesting? No, exactly my point. So yeah, and I see her Morgan, so she's probably gonna, win the match and go on to be a title contender. So my prediction: Liv Morgan for the win. Not just because I see her as a potential star that she should have been 1 or 2 years ago already, but also because I have respect for her in the fact that she was born in the same month and year as my. Thank you very much.
All right, there we go.
I just want to say,
That's
if you don't
done,
like
I guess.
Carmella, she's doing her job, Nash. Let me just say that. If you don't like her, she's doing her
All
job.
right, we're not gonna waste too much time on the undercard. Let's not make the same mistake we did at
this is
All
the
Out. We
co-main
ended up
event.
not
What
having
are you
time.
talking about?
No, let's discuss in detail why we don't say this. I mean, not like anybody's got anything important to do this afternoon.
Yeah, it's not like some football games on,
It's this afternoon. My team played yesterday and won.
Okay, let's move on. All right, we're going to go to the basically the first out of 5 potential title well, 5 out of the 6 matches are title matches. It feels like Clash of Champions, actually. We'll talk about the first one, and we'll go to Damian Priest versus Sheamus for this one, since we're talking about broken noses and all. And Kyle, I'm going to start with you on this one first, since you complained so much about the previous one. That's it. Like I said earlier, this is the undercard. I know a lot of us aren't really interested much in the US title at the moment. It's pretty much been a stagnant title, much like the IC title. Yes, Damian Priest and Sheamus have brought a little bit more relevance to it than before, but again, we can't consider it a big one. So that's just short and sweet, Carl.
Yeah,
How do you see this match going?
I'll be short and sweet. We've seen this match so many times. I don't want to see it. I heard something about if Jeff Hardy wins on Monday, he gets added to this and it's a triple threat. Sure, I'd be all open for that. But Priest will win this, and I'm glad that they're doing such a good job. Apparently, there's rumors of Bad Bunny returning at some point. So if he would come back and Priest is a champion alongside him, I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, Priest and beyond.
That was nice and short and sweet. Your thoughts?
I'm with everybody on this. Damian Priest for the win. Like, there's no way she's and I just want this match to be over so Priest and Priest can move on to. It's like, I'm sick and tired of this feud already. I don't need to see anymore. Priest for the win, and let's move on.
All right, Jeremy, what are you thinking? I can see your mind turning there.
Yeah, look, I do like Priest. I like the matches they've had. They've been like proper all-out slobber knockers. Look like they're legit trying to kill each other. I do like that style of match. But yeah, Priest, then they need to do something else with it. And yeah, what is it going to be like? If they have stipulation, loser, makes no sense. So yeah, Priest for the win. And next.
Yeah, look, I'll give you my thoughts quickly since, it is my show and I should. I think, like Carl said, we've seen this match on more than one occasion. And, we know WWE like to do the repeat matches every week. It's a thing. Honestly, I couldn't care anything about this match. I feel like it's a massive throw. I think it's a match to have the US title on a pay-per-view. That's what it is. I don't see Priest dropping the title anytime soon. If Jeff Hardy gets added to the match, I don't think it'll change my outcome. If anything, it'll just add the extreme, to the Extreme Rules version of this match, I guess, making a triple threat, But yeah, I'll go with the Priest victory on this one. And then with that, we're going to move swiftly on ahead to our next match, which is the Usos taking on the Street Profits for the Tag Team Championship on the SmackDown brand. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this match. But before I give you my predictions or my thoughts on this one, Jeremy looks just as excited as I am while he's playing on his phone. Tell me, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this match? What are your thoughts on the Usos versus the Street Profits?
Guys, we've seen this match. While we've seen this match before, I don't think these guys can have a bad match. I don't think they can. For them to have a bad. And yeah, this match here, I see it probably stealing the show for the night. I think this is the one that everybody's gonna really be. At the last few we said Edge Rollins is the one that we're all waiting to watch. Here it is. This one here. There's gonna be spots in this match. I guarantee you that we're not prepared for. And yeah, that's it. And
You're predicting to win.
I want to say Street Profits. I want the Street Profits to win. I do want it's the kid in me. I want the faces to win. But I'm not sure. So let's go. Let me go into my that's a really good mentality. Let's see. Let's see if I can think like Vince for a second. Now we're gonna say Usos. We're gonna say shenanigans and yeah, Usos.
So, all right. Carl, give me your thoughts on this tag match.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be short and sweet here as well. I'm excited for this. Every time these two teams are in the ring together, it's pretty entertaining. I'm pretty decisive in terms of who I think is going to win. I think the Usos are going to win after a very hard fought battle. I'm under the assumption that the Street Profits and Bianca Belair are going to Monday Night Raw very soon. So I don't see the Street Profits picking it up. But I think a good showing against someone like the Usos will just steer them in such good stead going into Monday Night Raw. But yeah, absolutely. This is, if in terms of like an entertainment value, I think this is the match on the card that probably will steal the show.
All right. Nash, do your thoughts follow that of your brethren?
Yeah. I'm 100% with the Usos, but I'd like to say that I have always been a fan of Profits from NXT days, mainly because everyone knows how much I love high-flying wrestlers, so they fit that mold of high-flying. So I've always been a fan of them as a tag team, but unfortunately, they haven't been pushed to the point where I think they're going to win. So Usos for the win, they will, but this will definitely be a show stealer of the night.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to disappoint you guys.
Uh-oh.
I think this, like, as much as we love the Usos and Street Profits, I think all their matches in the past have been fantastic. I think this one is going to be a bit of a poorer one. I think Jeremy's Carl, sorry, is right. They are going to be probably moving to Raw. I think Raw needs more star power in their tag team division at the moment. I know the Street Profits just recently came to SmackDown, but I think they're going to go back to Raw. I think it's going to be a big thing. I think they want to do Street Profits, New Day, that sort of rivalry again, because that was big, and they never really got to pull the trigger properly on that little rivalry there. But yeah, I think this is. I think it's going to be an okay tag team match. You guys know my thoughts on tag team. I'm not a big fan of it. Don't give me those eyes, Jeremy.
I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything.
But yeah, I'm going to go with the Usos to pick up a victory on this one. I think they're going to retain. I don't think it's going to be a clean retain, but it's going to definitely be a retaining of the titles. And I won't be surprised if they have another match at Crown Jewel next month, the two of them, just before the draft. Or just after the draft, something like that. It's going to happen. I don't know. But yeah, let's just move on ahead. Let's ignore that one. And we're going to go to a match which, at least I know one of us is excited for this match. And that is Bianca Belair versus Becky.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. It's Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss.
You're messing with his emotions.
You know what, Carl? I'm not gonna wait on this one. Give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on?
Guys,
I know I've already put your prediction down because I know where that's going. But let's hear how you think this match is going to go.
I just want you to know, anytime Alexa Bliss is on a pay-per-view card and we're doing a prediction, I've chosen Bliss 100%. I predicted she was going to beat Randy Orton. I'm just saying, my girl's got that in the bag. Look, I think it's finally time. This is the perfect opportunity to take Alexa Bliss and make her the world champion. I think Charlotte's going to SmackDown. Sorry, I know a lot of my predictions are based around the draft, but yeah. Charlotte goes to SmackDown, Alexa Bliss champion all the way through WrestleMania. It is time. We've gone from a sleeper going to win via voodoo in Money in the Bank to SummerSlam against Doudrop to Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship. That's the way my girl has grown in the course of 3 months. You don't get that spot unless someone's looking at you thinking, all right, we are going to strap a rocket to your back and we're going to launch you. And I think right now is the time that's going to happen with her. I just want you to know, Lexi.
I'm just gonna stop you there quickly, all right?
No.
No, I'm going to because WWE has strapped a rocket to Alexa Bliss before. Okay. If we remember when she came up from NXT, she's the first ever SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion. Okay. she's the first one to win both. All right. They pushed her as the goddess. That sort of gimmick that they were doing, the thing, that she was doing, and it worked. It worked very, very well. Then she got an unfortunate injury and she was taken off. All right. I honestly still believe WWE is not 100% sure that injury is healed as well as they've hoped it's healed. Okay. Her matches that she's had since she's come back into the ring, when she started with Nikki ASH and did this whole Fiend thing, have not been long-term matches. They've been very quick matches, possibly 5-minute matches. She's not gone long. And if it has been a long match, it's been a tag match where she's been out of it for a long time. I don't think WWE, I think it's a similar situation as like a Daniel Bryan back in the day. He has the neck injuries. He has the concussion injuries. I don't think they want to pull that trigger. That's my thoughts. But carry on. That's all I wanted to say. I need to get that out there.
Lexi, if you ever stumble across this video and you're watching this, I just want you to know that these buffoons that I'm forced to record with once, maybe twice a month, have been doubting you publicly, privately, and will continue to do so. They're saying you have injuries. They're saying you shenanigans whenever you're supposed to be booked to win. They're saying it's because of X, Y, and Z, not because of the class that I know that you show all the time. Girl, you are going to win this weekend. You are going on to WrestleMania. You are going to be in our lives and in our hearts for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 decades. WWE then, now, forever is defined by Alexa Bliss. She is granted in the other room, but she shares my sentiments, and that's all I'm going to say. Bliss beats Charlotte Flair. Sends her packing to the Blue Brand.
Guys,
Jeremy, let's get your thoughts.
Okay, so first of all, in my defense, I grew up in the 80s. Do you have any idea who Papa Shango is? No?
Yeah, he was in the game. I had to beat him in a swamp, I think.
Oh, man, Bliss even got around here. He made Ultimate Warrior do weird things with green vomit. But anyway, let's move along. I do want Bliss to win. I don't see it happening because Charlotte's just dropped the belt recently. She's just dropped it recently, and I don't see her doing that anytime soon. I see it like said, with the whole draft thing coming up. Maybe they bring her. They swap champions. They swap women's champions. Becky goes over to Raw, and Charlotte goes over to SmackDown. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Charlotte to win, man. I'm not sure how it's gonna happen, but maybe Bray Wyatt and
I was ready for that one.
And Black Room.
Nashville, give me your thoughts.
I never thought I would see the day where Kyle pulls to Jeremy with the sign. By the way, Jeremy, I'm missing your signs. Where are they?
I lost my marker, guys. I don't know where. I was hoping nobody asked me about that. I can't find markers.
I was about to actually mention, when I got to my section, I was actually going to mention, where's those markers? Because I was waiting for a sign when Carl was talking.
Kyle, consider yourself lucky, mate. I can't find my markers today. But, yeah.
All right, Nash, give us your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna, skim over the part where Kyle just, wrote a love letter to Alexa Bliss right on YouTube, online. So, but
I'm sure her husband will feel the same way about him.
I'm going to pull another Jeremy here and say that Alexa Bliss wins by voodoo, okay? Because this is one-on-one now. We're talking her facing Charlotte Flair. So, unless Charlotte Flair comes to the ring with a bottle of holy water, there's no way that Charlotte's walking out as champion, honestly speaking. And as far as swapping champions, Jeremy, I don't see that happening because you got to understand, the belts are color coded. You can't. There's a reason the Universal came blue.
Nash, remember last draft? They swapped the tag team champions and they just swapped belts. Remember, it was Street Profits and New Day, and they literally just swapped the belts.
I hated that. That made absolutely no sense whatsoever. That's like
And so people like that.
and he's the Universal Champion. I'm just gonna go over to SmackDown and call myself the Universal Champion, and this guy's gonna go to Raw, say himself the WWE Champion when he didn't even beat the guy that I beat to win the title. That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. So I don't see that happening. Alexa Bliss for the win via Voodoo. Make sure you note it's via Voodoo. All right. I want a bonus point if that
I've written it down.
Wait, what is voodoo? Let's be clear. What is voodoo?
Shenanigans. Papa Shongu, that is voodoo.
You guys are gimmick infringes. This was via Voodoo was my call. Okay? Damn it.
You just got it wrong.
All right,
So-
I'm going to give you my thoughts quickly. Alexa Bliss. Now, for Kyle, in case you don't know, I have been a big Alexa Bliss fan from her NXT days. I was probably more infatuated with her than you were at one point.
Yeah.
With that being said, the women's Raw title has been a bit of a hot potato in the last 2-3 months, since Money in the Bank, really. When Rhea Ripley won it, and then Charlotte won it, and then Nikki Ash won it, and then Charlotte won it back. And it's been up and down, up and down, up and down. And with that being said, I don't think Charlotte's going to drop the title. I think they're gearing up for Survivor Series to have Charlotte versus Becky. I think that's a much bigger draw for Survivor Series than Alexa Bliss versus Becky or Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. Don't shake your head. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, leave. Come on.
No. I have a neck twitch. Sorry, bud.
Sure.
Just shake
So
my neck.
I'm going to say Charlotte wins, but via DQ. I don't think Alexa's going to take a pin. I think there's going to be a DQ disqualification or a count out or something like that where Alexa Bliss actually wins, sorry, match, but Charlotte retains the title. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Alexa wins via DQ, which means Charlotte stays champion, but Alexa still goes on the record book as winning the match.
I can see that.
All right, and with that, we move to the other woman.
So whoa. You guys are going to get double points for saying voodoo and DQ. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No? Okay.
If Alexa wins via DQ, I get 1 point.
I want to.
If Alexa just wins,
beating
then you get a
Charlotte
point.
clean.
You're the
Clean.
only one that's brave enough to go for Alexa clean.
No, yeah, Alexa clean.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
That's
Just
fine.
getting it out there. I'll be quiet for the rest of the matches, I promise. Just don't get me so hyped. It's bliss.
Anyway, let's move to the women's SmackDown match now. And that's Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Sorry, I've already given a little bit of my opinion on this one. I don't like Bianca Belair. I hated her as a champion. I think she's a much better chaser of a belt than a champion, much like Drew McIntyre, but that's my... And I know I'm probably the only one on the internet that doesn't like Bianca Belair, which I suppose is allowed. But yeah, I don't see with the kind of drip that Becky Lynch has currently. I mean, clearly heard Seth Rollins, same Taylor, same like image consultant. It's clear as day that they are just... You can see they are married. It is beautiful. I love it. I'm loving Becky Lynch as a heel. I felt like it should have happened a very long time ago. I think she's a much better, arrogant man heel than the baby face heel. I'm a man. I can beat anybody. I beat Ronda Rousey. I don't care about that. I care that she's come back and she's wearing that massive ass fur coat that she wore last week. I love that red thing. Her hair this week was brilliant with a bright yellow top. Fantastic. That's the Becky Lynch I like. That's the Becky Lynch that is going to beat Bianca Belair, because I don't see Becky dropping the title. I do see Bianca Belair moving to Raw, and I see her moving with her husband, the Street Profits, to Raw. And yeah, Becky Lynch 100% for the win, and I think it'll be even a bit of a squash match, to be honest. let's move on. I can see you guys are all enthralled by my opinions.
No,
So-
I'll go next. I think
Yeah.
what's cool about this match is that, and I know that the whole SummerSlam situation just threw people off because it was so quick. But right now we have effectively our first time match, and it's really going to be like Becky's first time back in the ring in the big spotlight since she obviously went away. And I just want to say, you ask 95% of mothers in this world if Becky Lynch just had a kid, they would probably disagree with you. This girl's flexing her abs. She looks really good. She clearly just worked out. And I'm excited to see what this new in-ring ability is going to be like with
14
Becky
months
Lynch. So,
off, right?
I mean, she still had a damn baby. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't. I've
mine-
never had a baby, so I don't know. But
Never had, I
I'm just
can't
saying
judge,
she
I
looks
guess.
good. That's all I'm
They
trying to say.
had 5 months to train after the baby.
And I'm excited about what she's going to. But I mean, I'm with you. Becky Lynch wins. I don't know about a squash. I think it goes about 15 minutes. It makes Bianca look strong. I would not be surprised if it ended in a DQ
This is
finish.
WWE, eh? Women don't get more like 10. And that's pushing it.
Well, it's Becky Lynch.
Even their Iron Man matches were like 15 minutes only. Well, 15 minutes, I mean, only.
I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in a DQ, even though this is Extreme Rules. We should never have any DQ finishes at an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I don't even know why we're predicting it, but I don't.
All right.
Yeah, Becky Lynch.
All right. Nashville, give me your thoughts.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Yes. Why is the pay-per-view called Extreme Rules not contain a single damn Extreme Rules stiff match?
Hey guys, we've been over this. We've been over this grind.
I'm not going to get over it. Until I get one Extreme Rules match on this card, I'm going to keep on at it. But yeah, okay. Getting back to the match itself, I kind of disagree with Vaz on the whole Bianca Belair thing. I actually, to a certain degree, enjoyed her run as champ. She kind of got over. I preferred it if they kept her as heel. Then the whole persona as champ would have been more arrogant and cocky. It would have come off the right way. But as a face, it just doesn't translate. So, and now that she's got the title, she's better off. I don't see her getting it back. So, yeah, my prediction, Becky Lynch is keeping the title, keeping it, and I enjoy her more as a heel than a face.
All right. Jeremy,
Man,
what's your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm a bit torn on this one because on SmackDown they did that whole bit where Bianca tried to hit her move on. It made no sense. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
The SmackDown?
The manhandle slam didn't really work out. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
If we go on previous, so that means Bianca's gonna have is gonna pull her finisher on her next week, which means I don't see the title coming up Becky anytime soon. Anytime soon. I'm a bit confused by the booking, and that's the other reason.
Listen, it's the WWE. Anything can happen in the WWE. Booking doesn't mean anything. Come on.
That's the reason that you and I won't understand what's happening. The reason why you and I will not understand what's happening with this, with Bianca Belair, is because we're too old. We don't understand the things that they say. I don't. When she speaks on SmackDown, I normally get my kid in there to please explain to me what has been said. Please explain. I don't understand the mannerisms.
Yeah, listen, I don't even have a kid to help me with that stuff, so I'm lost.
Finger snapping and everything else. It's
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't even go here anymore. And then the crowd is like, and I'm like, okay, I'm officially old. I do feel old. But anyway.
Listen, we can take solace. Since now the Dark Side of the Ring episode just aired, we can take solace that we knew what happened on that plane ride from hell, and we knew what wrestling was like.
At some point, we're gonna have to do a deep dive on that whole thing. I was very disturbed, man.
I was But that's for another day. That's for another day.
Can I ask a question while we're on this? Because Jeremy just mentioned finishers being traded. The manhandle slam. Isn't that just the rock bottom? I saw it and I was like, wait, what? Why are they calling this thing something else? Has she been doing this?
Or as Jeremy would like to say, it's a bookend, which is the less the less inferior, the inferior version of a rock bottom. Like, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it is basically a rock bottom / bookend. Yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the main event. It is our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, taking on the undefeated demon, Finn Balor. All right? And I'm using that word specifically for the situation because the demon is undefeated in 9 matches. Okay? He's had this persona for 5 years in only 9 matches. I want to get Jeremy's thoughts on this one first because I can see where this is going, and
Guys,
I see the rat coming.
Guys, okay. So first off, I've only started watching NXT because of you guys, right? So I wasn't watching NXT from the beginning. But one of the first things I noticed when I started watching NXT, I actually think it was where he came out with the whole Sweeney Todd thing in the UK, and that hit. Once I saw that, I was hooked. When he got to the main roster, and the demon would just show up like willy-nilly, I was like, no, this thing is being like overexposed. It's being used terribly. And now he's been on NXT. He's had some knockdown, drag-out matches there on NXT. He's fought Karrion Kross. He's fought everybody. He's fought Pete Dunne. And not in none of those matches did he ever feel so threatened where he needed to go out, pull out the demon. Comes back to the main roster. He's not on there for even a month. Here we have the demon out again. And I can guarantee you this has Vince McMahon written all over it. This has Vince McMahon all over it, right? So yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed with that whole thing, and I see Finn Balor losing. I see Finn Balor legitimately losing a match as the demon, and Roman's gonna pin him, and Brock's gonna be there. There's going to be a load of shenanigans in this match because we've got the Usos, we've got Brock, we've got Paul Heyman, and I think at this point in time, the water's been so muddied up for everything. People are more looking towards the whole Brock and what's going to happen with Brock and Roman more than they are with this match with Balor, and that's what we should be focused on. I would love nothing more than for Balor to pin Roman. As much as I'm a Roman Reigns fan, I would love Finn Balor to pin Roman and take that. And when they go to Crown Jewel, you've got a match between the two of them. Nothing. It's just a match. It's a match that they're going to have at Crown Jewel. You can hear, I'm absolutely tickled pink. I would love for a huge Finn Balor-sized banner to be thrown into this whole thing. But it's not going to happen. Roman Reigns. That's it.
All right. Kyle, let's go.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Roman Reigns fan.
No.
You acknowledge him as your tribal chief. Don't lie to us.
I do acknowledge him, but his days as the head of the table are going to come to an end this weekend. I think it's time. For Roman to go into a tailspin of what do I do without this championship? It's just too much at this point for him. He's got beasts and demons and pancakes and slimy lawyers and Samoan cousins all surrounding him at the same time. I think it's just a little bit too much. I think Finn wins. And I'm going to leave it at that. And everything that Jeremy wants to happen, I think, is going to happen.
All right. Nashville, what are your thoughts on Roman versus the Demon? Do you think he's going to slay his demon?
All right. Here's my take on it, right? I do not see Finn Balor winning. Okay. Now, I know that you mentioned that he's undefeated for that particular reason, but this is where the Demon takes his first loss to the Tribal Chief, who is Vince McMahon's supposed next face of the WWE. This is where the Demon takes his first loss. Let's be honest. He's great in NXT. And I don't think for 1 second that Vince has been a huge fan of the Demon Finn Balor ever. I don't believe it. Now, you can try and convince me, but you will never convince me that Vince likes the Demon Balor. So I think Roman Reigns is going to win. And for one reason, Brock Lesnar is around. I think he might just show up at Extreme Rules after that match. And then we get our crown jewel match, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, because we know for a fact Prince of the Kingdom of Redacted loves the stars, the big box office draws, and Brock Lesnar's, and sorry, Jeremy, the Goldbergs and the Undertakers. But yeah, it's going to be Roman Reigns getting of the Demon Balor and going on to Crown Jewel to face Brock Lesnar for his Universal Championship.
See, so now my thoughts on this one, I'm torn between a lot of things in this match because I look to the future. I try and get into the mind of Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard when it comes to booking, right? And I like to know to where a story goes. This one I can't understand because they've already announced Brock versus Roman, okay, for the Universal title. But of course, that means nothing in WWE. That can change. But then I look towards Survivor Series. And what would be a bigger draw? If Big E stays champion until Survivor Series, that means we're either going to get Big E versus Roman Reigns, which would be a fantastic match. Don't get me wrong. We could also then potentially get Big E versus Finn Balor, which would be a fantastic match. Don't get me wrong. Or we could get Big E versus Brock Lesnar, which would be a fantastic match. I mean, in the words of Big E, that is literally two big men slapping meat together. Okay, that is what we want. So this is where I come in. This is where I'm struggling. I'm struggling with this match because I believe Finn will win. I believe Finn will beat the Tribal Chief. He'll become Universal Champion. And then at Crown Jewel, we get a triple threat match between Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns. That's the way I see it going. But I don't see that Vince McMahon sees the way that I'm going, if you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, that's my thoughts. That's where I'm going with this one. And then I have to throw in the fact that John Cena is still around. According to his Hollywood schedule, he's only filming the new movies in January, which means he has off until, let's say, November, because December you can't get injured or anything like that because of insurance policies and things like that in Hollywood. So will John Cena come back into this? Maybe at Survivor Series we have Team Cena versus Team Roman instead, if they're not champions, you know? Something like that. I don't know. I'm just, my mind is working a little bit here. But you know what? For the sake of this podcast, I'm going to go with the Demon to win. I think his undefeated streak will continue. I don't think Roman needs to end the streak of the Demon. I think he's got enough star power. I think even if he loses the Universal title, I think he still has enough star power in his bank to be the Tribal Chief. I don't think it's going to destroy him too much. But yeah.
I want to ask Nash a question. Nash, do you mean to tell me you don't ever think that Vince has looked at Finn Balor as the Demon and said, that's really good shit? Not even once. Not even once. No.
In words of Russell Peters, not once.
Not once.
Look, I think Vince likes the Demon. I think it's a similar situation to, like we said earlier, with Alexa Bliss and Daniel Bryan. He suffered a really bad injury. I mean, they gave him the first ever Universal Champion was Finn Balor. There was obviously some point that they really believed in Finn. Okay, he picked up that injury. And when he came back, he was not the Finn Balor that we knew. And I think Vince McMahon hates it when a top star gets injured and they've lost for a long period of time. You know, I think he hates that because then they've lost all their star power. That's what he thinks. And it's happened with Samoa Joe. It's happened with Zack Ryder. I mean, he was injured for a long time. He was popular. I mean, back when the storyline with John Cena, he was probably one of the most over wrestlers at the moment. Got a long-term injury, disappeared. Jinder Mahal, same concept. He was over, got injured, forgot about him. And I think Vince hates injuries. And it just testifies to what an ass he actually is. He can't...
Just on your point, can I just say something? The only reason Finn Balor became the first Universal Championship was because of fan pressure. The same reason Daniel Bryan won the World Championship at WrestleMania was fan pressure.
I don't believe that at all. I think Vince McMahon, like Brock Lesnar, just doesn't give a you-know-what about fans and children. I don't think Vince cares. It's money. It's money.
Yeah,
Finn Balor was one of the biggest indie stars ever. He saw money on Finn. That's it.
and he sees the walking wallet. When he sees a fan, he sees a walking wallet or a graphic. That's it. He doesn't.
Yeah.
The days
Explain
of-
that.
Because if that's the case, Nash, if that's the case, if fan pressure made Finn Balor a champion, then why the hell is Liv Morgan not on the top card? Because fans are behind Liv 100% for the last 6 months. We've been backing Liv. Nothing's happened. Rey Mysterio and Dominic should be on top of the world because they got all the fan support. He doesn't care. Simple as that.
I don't believe that.
Listen, end of the day, it's Vince McMahon we're talking about here, okay? He is the biggest anomaly when it comes to any entertainment whatsoever. We just got to hope that on the day of Extreme Rules, when Vince McMahon wakes up, you know, he gets something the previous day, I guess, has a nice cup of coffee, gets some breakfast, and is in a good mood. Then we'll have a good show.
That's not going to happen. No, that's not going to happen.
That's what I say, okay? And on that very disappointing note, let's wrap this up here. Just to go over it again, myself and Nash disagree on Vince McMahon, apparently. Jeremy's lost in thought amongst the Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair situation with the sharing of moves. And Kyle is still hung up on Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
Cursing us because we don't back him, that we think she's going to win the title. It's okay. It's okay. But for me, your mother's favorite podcast of Vans, from my good friends Nashville, Jeremy, and Kyle. It's been awesome chatting to you guys yet again. And please, guys, don't forget, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button, click the notify, give us all the reviews, give us all the content. It helps with our algorithms. So the more you guys comment, the more you guys share, the more you guys interact with us on our channel, the more we can get us there. And let's get PWC to a point where Alexa Bliss can watch our videos and find out how Kyle actually feels about it. That's the end goal, I think, right now. That's what we're going for.
If you guys have any thoughts about how we can rig this contest so that Vass loses it, so he eats the Reaper chip, let me know.
Let's not do that. Okay. I'm in comfortable second position right now. I'm happy. All right. I'm happy. Okay. I'm happy never having to eat a Reaper chip. I don't want to do that. I'm good. Thank you. And on that, peace.